Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's a beautiful day. It is. Thank you, God. And we thank you for your presence here. Thank you so much. So let's stand up this morning and let's sing I'm Choosing Heaven Today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing heaven today. Put your hands together. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think we've already said good morning to just about everybody. So good morning. And good morning and good morning. Well, three, I hadn't said good morning to. Oh, but maybe I missed Jack as well. Good morning. And I even said good morning to the balloon, the random balloon. I like it up there. I don't know what it means, but I think it's a special welcome, right? Can you tell I spent 4 days in an online conference and I'm a little weird? 4 days, you know what I mean? I'm a little weird. But thank God I got to go to metaphysical. Yeah, 4 days. You get a little weird. So thank God for the metaphysical fair and thank God for being together this morning, right? And I want to welcome you wherever you're at on your spiritual journey. And I want to also invite our prayer partner to come up and Michael Kendall and send for us.
So I light the Christ candle to remind us of the Christ presence within each and every one of us. So if we could take a moment now to just bring our attention right here, right now. Letting go of any troubles, worries, concerns that might have been on our mind when we walked into the room. Knowing that we can spend an hour with our attention here with each other in spirit. And that if there is anything that we need to do about things that were on the outside, physical things, we can pick it up when we're done here. We recognize the presence of God, Great Spirit, the Christ presence that is here now in this room and within each of us. And so we say thank you for this time together. And thank you for being here. And so it is. Amen.
My name is Marilyn Holloway, and I am your platform assistant this morning. The word for today is light. Let us affirm. The light of truth dissolves all darkness. Now please allow these words to be your words. A bird's cheerful song interrupts the quiet of the night. The dark sky grows lighter and puffy clouds begin to glow with a beautiful shade of pink. Brilliant rays announce the sun's arrival. The sun peeks over the horizon, flooding the new day with light. Light dissolves all darkness in my consciousness in a similar way. At a challenging time, my heart responds to the hopeful thought that this too shall pass. Hope grows into faith as my mind opens to divine wisdom that is always mine to claim. Guided by the dawning light of truth, I see the way forward and follow it with confidence. As surely as each day brings a sunrise, my faith assures me the light of truth will dissolve the darkness of any obstacle I may face. In John 1:5 we read, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it." Remember, friends, your word for today is light, and we affirm the light of truth dissolves all darkness.
So staying in this moment of spirit, let's just take a deep breath in together and relax and let it go. Take another deep breath in together, breathing in spirit. And then as we relax and let it go, breathe out any concerns or worries. Once more, breathe in together as we feel our connection with each other and with spirit. And breathe out, letting go of anything that may be holding you back. And as you continue breathing, just allow yourself to breathe in your body's own natural rhythm. Feeling ourselves settling in even more. The chair beneath us supporting us. Our feet on the floor, connected with Mother Earth. And the top of our head being open and willing and ready to receive. It connects with Great Spirit. And as you continue breathing, notice that with each release of your breath, another inhale just naturally follows. Let it be easy. Let it be simple. No need to push it. No need for any concerns, just allowing. And notice now, if you can feel the presence of spirit in the room, within yourself. Notice as you bring your attention to it. You begin to feel it in a way that lets you know that Spirit, God, is here now. You may feel it in your heart, in the beating of your heart. You may feel it riding on your breath as you inhale and exhale. You may hear it as a sound or a word in your mind. Just notice that however you feel it, that you know that it's here. And you know that as you bring your attention to it, it grows. And as we continue to breathe, we allow ourselves to just be with Spirit. Because Spirit is who we are as well. And as we allow ourselves to be with Spirit, we feel it growing. We surrender to the truth of that presence within us, to the truth that we are both human and divine. And we feel that humanness and divinity within us blending, moving together. And we know the truth that we were created in God's image. And that our spirit has all the love, all the wholeness, all the willingness of expressing that spirit of love, of light, of physically expressing any healing needs. And so now we just bring ourselves to rest in the knowing that we are enfolded, surrounded, uplifted right here, right now with Spirit. And we rest in the silence, knowing that. So we bring our attention back into the room. We start to feel ourselves once more sitting on the chair. We start to be aware again of our breath. And as we do so, bring to mind anyone for whom you are concerned, anyone for whom you would like to see, knowing the truth of who they are, knowing Spirit. If there's a need for healing, we see that light surrounding and healing. If there's a need for hope, we see that hope providing help. We know that there is no separation in time or space with God. And so in this moment, we take time to whisper the name of those who we're thinking of, placing them in the center of this field of Spirit. And don't forget to place your own name in the center as well. So we now take a breath in together once more and relax and let it go. Another breath in and relax and let it go. Another breath in, feeling us seated in the chair, our feet on the floor. And open our eyes when it's comfortable for you to do so, as we say, thank you, God. And so it is.
We've had a wonderful addition to the service of Metaphysical Minute. It slipped right by me. But I'm going to go ahead and read this now. It's such a wonderful thing to share. We'll move to the next song. So our Metaphysical Minute, lemons. I bet you never thought of lemons as being metaphysical. In truth, all foods have metaphysical properties, but let's look at lemons for a minute. If you're feeling unmotivated or sluggish, dab some lemon essential oil on your wrists or even right under your nose. That bright, clean smell can help you feel refreshed and give you a little pick-me-up. Put a slice of lemon in your water to balance your pH, flush out toxins, even help you lose weight. Many people down through the ages believe the color of lemon gets rid of negative energy. Painting one wall or having lemon yellow accent pieces in a room can help you feel lighter and brighten your mood. Lemons, good for body, mind, and soul. So thank you for letting me share that Metaphysical Minute with all of you, even if it was out of the order. Thank you so much.
There's nothing to fear. I know there's nothing to fear. I know there's nothing to fear. I know there's nothing to fear. I realize there's only one power. 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 I realize I'm one with the one. I realize I'm one with the one. I realize I'm one with the one. I realize I'm one with the one.
So I get to introduce myself today. For those of you that don't know, I'm Marilyn Freed, even though we did the prayer and everything. It just doesn't seem right to be doing an introduction right before we're going into prayer. So at any rate, here we are, here I am. It's one of the beginning Sundays of Lent. I don't think it's the first Sunday, but it's one of the beginning Sundays of Lent. So I thought I would begin by talking about kind of how we at Unity see Lent. And I don't know if all of you got this yet, but our Lenten booklet for this year is Release and Renew. And so I thought we talk about that. There is one song that I like here at Unity. It's I release and I let go. I let spirit do the work. And there's a couple other words in there, and I don't remember what they are, but it says, then there's nothing, there's only room for love. And so I thought at this time, it's not only Lent, but our world is, and it, you know, if you think about it, I know we've been saying for 2 years, it's in a commotion. You know, our world's always in a commotion. We're just all focused on the same commotion for the last 2 years or so, which is maybe what's kind of new. So if we want to look at Lent with maybe a new insight other than maybe what we grew up with, like I know I grew up with, when I first heard about Lent, I heard about, well, you just give up something for Lent, something that, you know, you're going to notice that you're giving it up, and it's, you know, it was kind of, I don't know, just something that you did. It didn't really have any meaning to me. And as I got older, you know, I would do the same thing every year. As I got older, as I became a teenager and was smoking, you know, it would be like, okay, I'm going to give up smoking for Lent. Well, it was something that was to my benefit if I would have managed to do it, but I don't know how many years I did it, and I didn't give it up. It just took a long time. So I eventually gave it up. It's been a long time now. I don't remember being a smoker anymore, but I was for a big major part of my life. So I don't know how it might have affected you when you were younger, but I do remember that there were years there where I didn't attend church. And then when I attended church, I came to Unity. And I do remember the first time I heard about Lent in Unity, and I heard about, learned about letting go. And one of the things that we want to let go of is whatever is preventing us from reaching our highest self. Now, we could say that my smoking was preventing me from that, at that level of understanding that I was. And now looking back on it, I know it was. But there's other things, there's thoughts, there's negativity, there's other things. It's not necessarily physical things. It's a time for us to go through an honest self-examination and self-discipline and self-commitment. And we might not know on the first day of Lent, if we haven't given it any thought yet, what it is that is getting in our way, what it is that is maybe holding us back. But as we go through this process, maybe we start to see, you know, what is bringing us down, what maybe is bringing us down at this time. This is a time where we can begin to learn that we can be the master of our thoughts. And as we become the master of our thoughts, we know that our thoughts create our world. So as we become the master of our thoughts, we start to become the master in our world. No matter what people say or what people do around us, we can take up the idea of, why should I let these things bother me? Why should I let these things determine how I'm going to act? I know that's been a big one for me in this past year. It's like, I don't have to act like that just because the other person is. When I've seen myself react to somebody that was acting in a negative way, and it pulled me down, and I started acting that way myself. And I think just becoming aware of that fact is a step in the right direction, is a step in the idea that I do have a choice there. So this season, Lent, is the perfect season of letting go of maybe some of our dark worries and renewing our awareness of the God that is always within us and always surrounds us. We talk about that Christ spark that is within each and every one of us. And it is a spark. Well, we know when we feed a spark, it can grow. And so for us to be aware of that, this is the perfect time. When we give up, if you want to give up something for Lent, maybe we want to give up the thoughts that keep us from expressing that higher self that is within us. Maybe that's the thing that we can find to give up. If we want to get to the light that Easter brings, to the love and the light that Easter brings, as we go through this season, this time, we can do this. And believe it or not, we can renew our thoughts. And believe it or not, Unity has tools for this. We have tools for this. And as I've said before, we have apps for this. Well, we have tools for this. So some of the ways that we do this, I started thinking about the words of letting go, releasing, and surrendering. And we often use them interchangeably. We use one or the other. But as I started looking deeper at it, I think each one of them has maybe a little bit of a different meaning, depending on what the situation is. So I thought, well, if we're going to let go, what is it that we might want to let go of? We might want to let go of negative thoughts. We might want to let go of doing the same thing, those same negative thoughts, repeating and repeating and repeating. And oftentimes in my mind, when I think of letting go, it's often about the past, about things that I'm still rehearsing that happened years ago. It's maybe not so much in the present, but there's not a hard line between each of these things. I think they blend together. Releasing. Well, the other thing I want to say about letting go is it's not giving in. It's not like, oh, I'm a failure, I let go. What it is giving up to spirit those things that have affected my life negatively, that are maybe pulling me down. When we go to release, when I release, oftentimes I think it's more going the other direction. It's going to the what ifs, the future. What if this happens or that happens? And we're good at that today. Going into that. I mean, we have the news media giving us lots of practice in that, because we don't get facts anymore. We get opinions. And what if this happens, then this will happen. So we have lots of practice in that. So when I think of releasing, I'm thinking of releasing that future, rehearsing the future, just as I rehearsed the past. And then there's surrender, which some people think of as raising the white flag and I'm giving up. They see it as a negative thing. Well, it's not a negative thing when we surrender to spirit. The man Jesus taught us that. He said, not my will, but thy will be done. He surrendered what he actually knew was coming, but not just the one big surrender at Easter. He surrendered it all the time. And so all these three things have a slightly different meaning, and it depends on where you are. For me, sometimes I have to use all three in one instance. Sometimes wherever I am, I might just be living in the past, and so I have to just be doing the letting go part. Sometimes I'm living in the what ifs, and I have to just let go of that part, so, release that part. But all three, and the surrender is, to me, no matter what I'm doing, the surrendering it to God is the important thing. And I can remember in my young years being terrified to do that, because what if God wanted what I didn't fit my plan? What was I going to do then? So that's where we have to start to use our faith and our trust in truth in what we learn here. So one of the ways that we do that here, and we talk about this throughout the year, but we do talk about it at Easter time, and that is denials and affirmations. And the denials and the affirmations, the spiritual denial is about release. Using denial to releasing the energy that you have been pouring into these other things. So as we use our denial, we say that this doesn't have any effect over me. I deny that what I'm seeing is affecting me because I know the truth. So I'm letting go of that. We're denying the appearance. We're not denying the thing like it didn't happen. And that's one of the things that was a mistake that I made for a long time. I tried to, and I use the word pretend. When I was using denials, I was pretending that something didn't happen. That is not healing. If someone is killed in an automobile accident, I can't pretend that didn't happen. That happened. But I'm denying that it has to affect my life. What it can do is give me a means, a way to look deeper into myself and open up even more to truth of letting go what I'm feeling to spirit. And I was thinking about that as well. It's like, I'm not sure which comes first, the thought or the feeling. I think sometimes the feeling comes first and then I have a thought, negative or positive. And then off my mind goes, off my ego goes to take over that. And sometimes I might have the thought first and then I have the feeling. And so I think that's a place for me and maybe you too to examine which is starting that energy, that roller coaster. But we have the responsibility for seeing how events are affecting our consciousness. And so our response is to our consciousness, not the event itself. That's what we need to respond to. And it's not easy. It really isn't, because we have hard things these days. But you know what? I think we have the hard things these days because we do have the tools and we're ready to grab onto them. Here comes the law of non-resistance, which we've spoken about a lot of times here. And that's the law, it's Jesus's law of non-resistance. Our true need is to get right in our consciousness with God. If we can remember that that's what our true need is. So anything that's standing between ourselves and our spirituality and our idea with God is what we might want to let go of and surrender and let go. Holding on to a mistake or judging ourselves or others or all things. These are thoughts that have to go to get out of our mind. So our booklet called this Release and Renew. And so affirmations are part of the renewing. So if denial is the activity of releasing a negative subconscious preconception, then affirmation is the activity of establishing our minds in the truth of God, then acting from that truth. So we can know the truth, but sometimes it's hard to act from it. It's really hard when we have a major life change or a major illness. It's really hard to act from that place of truth. But when we can act from that place of truth, then we become aware of our growing spirituality, and it brings it back to our day-to-day activities. And I was thinking this morning too, it's like, we practice to learn an instrument. We practice if we're going to speak. We practice a lot of things, but I think, and I'm speaking for myself here, and I think others might have the same experience. Often I don't practice wanting to recognize that truth, wanting to affirm that truth in the little everyday things. Sometimes I feel like, oh, it's too much to bother God with. But what I'm feeling now is, and what I'm learning now is, when I practice that throughout the day, every day, and just my little things, then when the big things come, it's like easier to go. It's like putting money in the bank. So we choose to bear witness to this truth. we have to speak it, and not necessarily just verbally, but mentally and emotionally. That's another thing where I think that we can make a mistake, because we can say what we know is the right thing to say verbally, but mentally, we might be saying, well, I don't get that right now, or that's not right for me right now. That's one of the things that can hold us back, that can stop us from doing the move that we need to do. We need to dare to speak truth in the face of all evidence to the contrary. And I'm going to say that again, because that is very difficult and very hard. You have to dare to speak the truth in the face of all evidence to the contrary. Well, what I do know is that when I can do that, that is lifting my energy. When I'm not doing that, I'm in a negative energy place, and that's lifting my energy. When my energy is lifting, the energy of those around me gets lifted as well. You can't help but have it happen. And so that is a way for me to affect my world. There are a lot of things that are happening in the world right now that we might want to wish that we could do something about. And I would say, if any of us are called to do anything in the physical, absolutely great. But all of us can do something in the non-physical in order to lift ourselves all up. One of the other things to always remember is when we're letting go. If you let go of a little, you'll have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you'll have a lot of peace. That's one of the things we need in our world today too. We know that our inner world reflects our outer world. So if we are not in peace within, if we're warring within ourselves, then we are contributing to the warring on the outside of the world, on the outside in the world, in the physical. So that's one of those things that we need to begin to remember, of letting go, releasing, surrendering, that cartwheel constantly going around. And we remember that, as we were taught by, once again, the man Jesus, the Christ presence within us has that same ability. He always said, I do nothing on my own. I do not do my own will. It's the will of him who sent me. And so we remember that too. We do nothing on our own. When we ask, we're guided. We know what there is for us to do. And it's available to us at all times. We can always let go and let God. This is, letting God is a challenge, as I said, that oftentimes we're a little bit afraid of what God's idea for us might be. And we do know that as we grow and we learn more, we see more. Now, I said in the beginning that we have lots of things that we may not know right away what it is that we need to work on. And I kind of feel like it's like I told my granddaughter, she didn't have to know what her major was the first day of her freshman year, that would come. And our little book has, in the very beginning, Release and Renew, Lent 2022. If you're not sure what's yours to work on right now, there's lots of ideas, and I love the way it's done, because it says I release, and then it says I renew. So there's lots of suggestions. I think there's 40 of them, and a couple of them that you can go and read through them. And then as we go through the time for Lent, each one of these has a page that you can use to help you. But some of the ones that are big, or I release problems that seem overwhelming. Well, I think most of our problems usually seem overwhelming, or we wouldn't be calling them problems. But when it seems overwhelming, I renew my awareness of my spiritual nature. And for me, I mean, and I see, again, our way shower did that constantly. And the truth of the matter is, if the man Jesus, who became the Christ, had to do that constantly, why would I think I could just do it once and it would be done? It's just not possible. So that was the part that, it took me a while to get. Releasing doubt and confusion and indecision. well, then we renew our divine power of wisdom. Here's where those 12 powers come in as well. Discontent and criticism. I renew my gratitude of all things. Sense of discouragement. I renew my hope with the power of affirmative prayer and affirmations. It goes on. I release the shadows of grief and sorrow, and I renew myself in the serenity of silence. And there's a lot in between there. So I don't know how you use this book. I don't know if everyone has one yet. I think there's still some in the hallway. Someone has it on their phone, I believe. I know I use a daily word on my phone, so it works well. So I encourage you during this time can be, for me, it is one of the most spiritual times that we celebrate in our Christian calendar. And we do it in a way that's not necessarily how we did it in the past in the churches where we came up. We can just do it as a way to improve ourselves and our own understanding. So in the Lenten season, know that you're blessed with the power to release any thoughts, any feelings, or behaviors that are holding you back. And renew your mind through Christ in you, your hope and glory. And we know that that was one of Charles Fillmore's favorite words, Christ in you, your hope of glory. And it's on above one of the chapels at Unity Village. So know as you move through this season that you're blessed, you're already blessed with this ability, and it's up to you to choose how you use it in your life. So with that, let's say thank you. Thank you, God.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go, let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more sorrow, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes,
Now for the latest news. Just a reminder, first of all, that we have a weekly Zoom meditation with Marilyn Freed, 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, and you can go on Zoom via our Unity website. Easy to do. Chair covers, the vote was overwhelming. We all love the multiple colors, so it's going to be really fun to see it happening already. It's just brightens up the whole sanctuary. It's beautiful. Unity t-shirts ordering. Today is the deadline to order and pay for your shirt.
You don't have to pay for them today.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have some time yet.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for them. Once we order them and they come in, then you'll pay when you pick them up. That's it.
Oh, I do have an envelope on that clipboard if you do want to pay for it ahead of time. Liz put the money in.
Thank you. Special thanks to you, Karen. It's wonderful. Very exciting to have that happening.
Yeah.
Sacred service, would you like to learn a new skill? We are looking for volunteers for the soundboard and platform teams, and you'll get the training you need. Just talk to Sharon or Jeannie or call the office if you're interested. Power of Group Intentions last week was a great success, and we have 2 groups starting off. And if anybody has still room for more.
Yeah. So we had a little, not a cheat sheet, but a little guide that shows how the groups can go. And what we're asking is that you commit to be in a group for 8 weeks. And so if you are interested, there's one group that has 4 and could use at least a couple more. And we're talking about 6 to 8 people in each group. And what these groups are, it's really circling around to share the power of positive intentions. And the intentions come from the group itself. And those that have been through the training can help you. If you weren't able to be there, can help you. And I'll be happy, Marilyn would be happy to lead you through this to help you to feel part. I'm excited.
Yes. Yes, me too. It's wonderful to see that happening.
I just have a question. Do we know when the groups will actually start?
One is starting today after the service. Yes. And when is the second one?
The second one's on Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, our first, we're getting together the 16th, Wednesday over at Juanita's at 2 p.m. What time? 2 p.m.
So if you need Juanita's address, we can get it to you.
So what I suggest you do is contact the office if you want to join a group, and Chris can connect you with the whatever group it is. But the one that's in here after the service is going to be the easiest one to connect with. But I think the Wednesday group is the one with 4. Yeah, so the Wednesday group could do with another couple of people. Okay, moving on. Oh, please note that we are going to be locking that back door when the service starts. And large speakers, we have Colleen Renee next week, and she's going to be talking about the effect of the equinox, the spring equinox. So she's always a fun speaker. And after that, and the following week, we have Namita Mehta. Metaphysical nights. Each month you can come and experience different metaphysical subjects. And these are on the 3rd Friday of each month from 6 to 8:30. And we have Reader's Night coming up in April, May 20th, Crystals, Oils and Sage, June 18th, Past Lives and Reincarnation. And if you're interested in being a vendor, contact Chris. And I just want to say our metaphysical event yesterday was wonderful. We had, I think, over 100 people.
Over 200.
Over 200. Or maybe it was by the noon somebody said 100. I was doing readings all day, and I was just busy back to back, and I was exhausted when I got home, but it was a wonderful exhaustion. So it's like, thank you, Unity, for doing this. And I think it's really a service we offer to the community at large. I'm really so happy that this is happening.
There were so many young people and little kids.
Yeah, there were some delightful little kids who were, they were wonderful. So if you're joining me,
Grateful that we get this going on.
oh yes,
Yeah.
I think that there is a a yearning in the community for this kind of event. And I think that's borne out by the number of people that attended. So it's really heartwarming.
I do have, this little journal was, here at the soundboard, so if anybody's missing their journal, it's right here.
This one.
Okay.
So if you're joining the affirmations.
Wait,
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that anybody who wanted the book,
the power of 8. I'm interested in getting them. I did some research on 8 books, ABE.com. And then there's another one, thebookdepository.com. And you can order books there, or you can let me know if you want to. And I saw like they're about $8, they're used. And there was maybe 8 of them at Ames and 2 or 3 at the book depository. Theirs were a little more expensive, more like $14.
Thank you, Leslie. And just a word here that our group intentions are the group that Reverend Cheryl and I have been working with for the past few months is based upon The Power of 8 by Lynn McTaggart. And it's not totally a prerequisite, but I highly recommend that you familiarize with yourself with that book, because you get the essence of what she and other groups are doing, and how I think the intention is to spread this out throughout the communities. It's not limited to what we can do in this community here at Unity. It doesn't have to be a Unity thing. It can go out into the wider community, because it's all about intention from your heart and building those intentions and how that can really spread. It's very exciting, very excited about it. So if you'll join me with affirmations together, our prosperity affirmation: God is the source of all good I can imagine. Our vision: a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Our mission: we empower individuals to collectively transform the world. Okay, so
I think you've already been celebrating abundance. No, it's been beautiful, but I was thinking you're already doing that. You celebrating the metaphysical fair? No, you weren't. But celebrating, and Leslie sharing about the book, and et cetera. I thought there was already so many celebrations of abundance, but I want to welcome others to share celebration of abundance. Yes.
I just have one more. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who signed up for going to the beach in September. We're actually getting their deposits in on time. And we've got one bed left and maybe a half of a bed. I know it sounds strange. So, but thank you very much for getting your monies in on time so that I can, send it in.
We asked you later about the half bed.
Yeah, they have
That's great. Anyone else? A celebration of abundance? Yes, go ahead. You want the microphone?
Should have a microphone.
Well, I guess my abundance is pretty profound. My brother is in the room with me, and he's been on hospice, and he's doing so well, they're kicking him off hospice. So, yeah, he graduated the best way possible, and it's just been a really amazing experience. So, yeah.
Wow.
I'm grateful.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else with celebration of abundance?
Yeah. There has been somebody close to me that has owed me a large sum of money for 10 years. And I finally got paid. And, not with any interest, but hey, I'm just glad to have it.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Someone else?
and I just learned this week that there was some money from my mom's estate that wasn't accounted for in probate. And my sister contacted me to say, hey, there's this other money, and we're gonna be splitting it up in the family and sending it pretty soon. And said, oh my goodness. So somehow the attorneys who were dealing with probate missed something. So it's really a nice, really a nice little help for me and for all of us. So I'm really, really grateful. I'm really surprised.
That's wonderful. Anyone else? Another abundance? Mine was going to be very small, but I got to sit in front of Reverend Cheryl and listen to her sing. No. I always notice who sits behind me, and I just really enjoyed hearing you sing today. It was beautiful. No, it was an abundance. And I also got to listen to Sandy. It was beautiful. No, mine was small. So can the ushers come forward, please, for the blessing of the tithes and the offerings? Please join us in blessing as we continue to affirm the abundance of the giving of our tithes and offerings. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, thank you for the flow of giving and receiving as part of our wondrous universe. Daily we receive all that is needed and more from the infinite abundance all around us. We pray blessings on these offerings with gratitude and love. Thank you, God. If you want to, you're sure? Okay. If you want to get out of your chair, so yeah. All right, so now it's time for us to bless all the little ones inside of us. Are we ready? We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. Now we're gonna have the prayer for protection, and then we'll follow that by the peace song. Do you want to stand for the prayer of protection? And then we'll definitely circle up for the peace song. So the prayer of protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
If you're comfortable circling up and holding hands.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was made.
Okay, thank you, Zoom participants. And I just wanted to mention that the same Zoom room that you come to for service is the same one that we use for the meditation, Tuesday meditation. So, programming note, I guess. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.